The dominant force in English football, one of the dominant forces in European football, and back in '99 when Manchester United won this treble, these fans, or some of them who were old enough, were watching Manchester City get back in from the third tier into the second tier of English football, beating Gillingham at Wembley.
Incredible this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know, Patrice Evra says I love this game. That is how I feel about the National League at the moment. You know, Notts County, Wrexham have grabbed all the headlines this season, haven't they, with that points total. Notts County finished 4 points behind them with 107 points. Good afternoon from Wembley Way, ahead of a huge South Yorkshire derby with a place in the Championship at stake. It's Sheffield Wednesday against Barnsley in the League One playoff final, the final one of my trilogy in the EFL playoffs.
And what have they got, Sanny? About 10 minutes left with you?
Yeah, exactly. You're very good with your timings, Mark. Yeah, 10 minutes to go here. Still Manchester United 1, Arsenal 0. Currently Manuela Zinsberger, the Arsenal goalkeeper, is down. Leo Williamson went off injured as well. Has a shrug of his shoulders, runs up, strikes right-footed and scores! Down the middle he goes. Blackpool equalise. The home fans to my right are in raptures.
These players behind me are changing the game, they're changing perceptions. We heard there about how many tickets have been sold. They're expecting a big crowd here at Edgbaston. And we're joined by one of Manchester United's biggest fans and one of the biggest names in sports. It's Usain Bolt. Usain, we know you love this club. How excited are you today?
I'm happy. I'm always happy to be here.
His comeback's just been incredible. Can you tell us a little bit more on your reflections on what he's done this season?
Yeah, I think it's just wonderful, wonderful story.
Pep Guardiola is a legend at Barcelona as a player and of course as a manager. He knows La Liga really well, so asking him to reflect on this huge story, this racist abuse that Vinicius Jr. suffered at Valencia last Sunday, and the reaction around that I thought was maybe the right place to go. And we said, would it happen? Would Barnsley be out of this? They were winning 1-0, they were 4-1 down. Max Watters has made it MK Dons 4, Barnsley 4. His goalkeeping situation on David De Gea, and also try and focus on those players returning from injury. And maybe I can throw in a question on Eurovision. We'll see, Hayley, and whether he's got a vision for Europe for the Champions League instead.
Very clever, yes. Let's hope you do, Sanny. Thank you very much indeed.
Live on the BBC World Service, this is Sport Today.
Hello and welcome, I'm Sanny Rudravajhala. Now, Sevilla Manchester City for the European Super Cup gets underway in Athens in just under 30 minutes' time. But before that, there's only one place to start. That's in Australia, as England have beaten the co-hosts to reach the Women's World Cup final. On the other hand, West Brom were fairly poor at times, giving away the second goal straight from the restart is not what Carlos Corberán wants. He got sent off as well in that, and you know, in our WhatsApp chat we were discussing a bit about why he didn't do the post-match interview, and I just thought he had a bit of a hissy fit, but that's also part of the new rules. So if you get sent off as a manager, you don't need to do your media stuff anymore, which, you know, if I think back to my run-ins with Harry Kewell at Oldham Athletic, waiting for 2 hours in the freezing cold, like, I'm pretty sure he would go out of his way to get sent off. So this is another thing that's going to end up happening.
All right, well, there are two sides to every story, so let's get the view from their opponents, Everton, who also lost their opening game, 1-0 against Fulham. Sanny Rudravajhala spoke to Sean Dyche a bit earlier on. He joins us live right now. Sanny, very good afternoon to you. So Everton, well, we know how important Dominic Calvert-Lewin is for them. Is he going to be back for this weekend's match?
Yeah, good afternoon. And yeah, Sean Dyche must feel a bit like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Every press conference he's asked about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But yes, it does appear that he is now back in contention. He played 90 minutes in a closed-door friendly against Manchester United in midweek. Remember, he only last played for Everton in the penultimate game of the season last season against Wolves. He played a couple of halves in pre-season and then has been out injured. He's been on a rehabilitation process. And in amongst that as well, actually, he's become a father. So I asked Sean Dyche about Dominic Calvert-Lewin's transition maybe back to the football pitch and also adapting to life as a dad.
I don't know how he's adapting to being a father. I don't live with him, but I'm sure he's enjoying the process, like I certainly did. Yeah, on his side of things, he's in good shape.
Hello, I'm Sanny Rudravajhala and welcome to St George's Park. This is the home of the FA and England football, and today we're going to be learning a little bit about what it takes to make it through an elite football pathway. And we've got two very proud parents and one very talented youngster to help us today. We've got Aman, Maya and Pritpal. So thank you for joining us today. And we're going to talk to you, Maya, about your journey. You're at Aston Villa, and we'll talk a little bit about what that experience has been like. Aman, let's start with you though. You know, what has it been like having a youngster get onto this elite football academy pathway?
It's been really good. It's been hard work, but obviously a very, very proud moment for us as parents, for her to sign that contract and get through the trials.
I want to ask you both about advice you might give to any other young players who are thinking they might be getting involved in the academy setup and what you might want to say to them. So what would your advice be to anyone thinking about getting into an academy?
For people who are young?
Yeah.
Just never give up. Always listen to your coaches, that's the main thing. Because if you listen to your coaches, they would listen to you when you speak, and then you listen to them when they speak, when they want you to do things better. Or if they want you, And the most important one is when you're playing football on the pitch, always have a smile on your face. Yeah.
That's a very positive one to have.
And never think negative. When you're playing like tough teams, just never think negative. Always imagine that you're always going to win and you're always going to give it your all.
Okay, that's some really good advice, especially giving it your all. I think that's one of the most important things in football, isn't it? As well as we talked about enjoying it. Issa, for you as a goalkeeper as well, you know, there might be a lot of youngsters thinking, oh, I'm pretty good as a goalie, but it's quite hard. There's only one person who can ever play in that position. What would your advice be for anyone thinking about going into an academy, or if they're getting that opportunity and weighing up, should I say yes, should I say no?
Just work hard, train hard, and the most important thing, just enjoy it. Because if you enjoy something, then you're going to work harder for it, but if you don't, then there's no point in playing.
Well, there you go. I think that's a positive note to end on. Now, if you want to learn more about what's happening in your area as well and what's going on with the FA, then have a look on thefa.com. You can find out lots of information about these elite pathways. And if you're looking for opportunities for your own youngster to get involved in football, then just search Find Football.